in this crazy sport. Massive right hand. Daniel Dubois is world heavyweight champion. All over again.
Fabio Wardley's undefeated record is done. It's over. Fabio Wardley has been exposed by Daniel Dubois. So where did it all go wrong? Guys, let's have an open and honest conversation about Fabio Wardley. It is done. It is over. Daniel Dubois has absolutely destroyed Fabio Wardley. And look, going into this fight, I made a number of videos and I sort of had a good analysis, right? I watched a number of videos, both Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois. I analyzed their fights. I saw where they make mistakes. I saw where they have some advantages. And the conclusion that came to me was that Fabio Wardley is definitely lacking on the boxing side, which I think everybody knows, right? Everybody that follows boxing or follows heavyweight boxing knows a little bit about Fabio Wardley. You know that Fabio Wardley lacks the boxing ability. And, you know, from my analysis and sort of looking at his fights, I realized that it is only a matter of time that someone can go further into the heavyweight division, you know, with this sort of ability and not get exposed. And basically what we saw tonight was a Fabio Wardley that has come to the end of his ability in terms of his boxing skills and the fact that he's not able to overcome any challenge that is in front of him. Going into this fight, as I did my analysis, I said that Daniel Dubois was slightly the better boxer, right? Daniel Dubois is not the most exquisite boxer in boxing. We've seen this. Usyk totally outsmarted, outboxed, outfoxed, outthought, and basically outdid everything to Daniel Dubois. So Daniel Dubois is not exactly the best boxer in the heavyweight division. So that shows you the level that Fabio Wardley is at as a boxer. Now, Fabio Wardley can always get lucky, you could say, right? Because if you look at it, sometimes it is lucky because his opponents that he fought before have not been able to stop him. So that is the luck that he gets. What is not luck is that he's able to land a shot when he needs to land it, because you have to practice that shot again and again and again in the gym to be able to ensure that you're able to land that shot every time. And Fabio Wardley, every time that he's needed something to bail him out, every time that he's needed something to equalize the mistakes that he's making, he's always found that shot. I don't think that is luck. I think that is just practice, as I said, and the fact that he's able to do that in real fights. But the problem was always going to come to the forefront. Fabio Wardley's weaknesses and his frailties and the holes in his game was always going to come to the forefront. And today against Daniel Dubois, every single weakness that Fabio Wardley has was exposed. It was laid bare for everyone to see. So you're thinking every fighter that faces Fabio Wardley next will know exactly how to beat Fabio Wardley, because all the things that you shouldn't do as a boxer, he did in that fight against Daniel Dubois. Like all the mistakes that you cannot do and get away with, Fabio Wardley did that. And he's been doing that in previous fights. Just that today, he was in there with a Daniel Dubois that hits hard. So when he got punished for the mistakes that he made, those, shots took a lot out of him. We look at the fight against Justis Huni, for example. He was being outboxed. He was being, found out. His jab wasn't there. His footwork wasn't there. He was lunging in. He was missing. And he was being made to miss. And he was being made to pay. But the difference is that Justis Huni is not a big puncher. So those punches that Justis Huni was catching Fabio Wardley with were not doing much damage. And then we look at the Joseph Parker fight. Joseph Parker is a better boxer than Fabio Wardley. And at times in that fight, Joseph Parker was having the fight his way. He was boxing really well. He was using his jab. Footwork was really good. He was moving to the left side of Fabio Wardley just to avoid that right hand that Fabio Wardley likes to throw so much. And Joseph Parker was having a good time in there. And the problem is that Joseph Parker was not able to put Fabio Wardley away. And what we saw was Fabio Wardley landing big shots and getting Joseph Parker out of there. So that has always bailed him out. But against Daniel Dubois, Fabio Wardley was getting tagged. And all the tagging that he was taking a lot out of him. It was taking his energy. He was losing his balance. And we saw in that fight that Fabio Wardley, his poor coordination, his inability to throw shots the right way just came to bite him in the backside. Because in this fight against Daniel Dubois, Fabio Wardley was just winging shots. Instead of throwing the shot, he was just swinging the shot. And because he had early success in the Daniel Dubois fight, he thought that that was the only way that he would be able to get the knockout in that fight. And that is throwing that overhand right. And yes, he got Daniel Dubois on the canvas in the third round. Fabio Wardley was only going to get lucky a few times. That is only going to happen a few times in your career where you can get lucky, where your opponents do not get rid of you at the same time. Daniel Dubois or somebody else was going to stop Fabio Wardley at certain point. Today, it showed that Fabio Wardley's ceiling was very low and that a good boxer that can punch will stop Fabio Wardley every single time. And that's exactly what we saw against Daniel Dubois. For Fabio Wardley, it just showed that, he came to the sport late. Credit to him, because the shot that Fabio Wardley took in this Daniel Dubois fight was incredible. Any fighter would have gone down. The shots that Fabio Wardley took, any fighter took those shots, they would have gone down and they would not have gotten up. We saw that Anthony Joshua took similar shots against Daniel Dubois, and Joshua was in there on jelly legs for 5 rounds until he got knocked out. So we know that Daniel Dubois can hit, and when he hits you, the effect of the shots lingers through the body and you can feel it, and that has an effect. And Fabio Wardley took a lot of punishment in that fight. Fabio Wardley took so many shots and he was still there. His nose was broken, his face was busted up, he was just a bloody mess, and he was still in there. So credit to Fabio Wardley for being a warrior. He's got heart, he's got determination, right? He's got the ability to stay in there although nothing is going his way, and that is something that you cannot teach. That is something that you have to be born with, and that is something that Fabio Wardley has. But one thing, or some things that, put everything in jeopardy for him, is that he doesn't have the boxing ability at the top level. Joseph Parker, in my opinion, fought the wrong game plan. He gave a puncher an opportunity to land big shots. Daniel Dubois in this fight used his jab really well, and what we saw was Fabio Wardley did not know exactly how to overcome Daniel Dubois using the jab, staying in range but then out of range, and all that we saw was Fabio Wardley swinging and winging shots and just missing and leaving holes in his defense. I mean, going into this fight, I said that Fabio Wardley was defensively reckless. As I analyzed the fight, as I analyzed his fights and saw the mistakes that he made, I knew that he was defensively reckless, and we saw that in this fight. He just couldn't hit the target most of the time. His feet were not close enough. The position of his feet to then land the big shots were not there, and he kept missing Daniel Dubois the whole night. So Fabio Wardley has been exposed for what he is. What he is someone that came to the sport late, that has a big shot, that has heart, that has the ability to stay in there even though he's taking punishment. But as always in boxing, the squared circle is the revealer of all things. In boxing, it is only so many times or so long that you can hide. The squared circle will always expose someone's weaknesses or someone's frailties. And unfortunately for Fabio Wardley, the day has come where everything that he did wrong in all the previous fights that, he got lucky in terms of those opponents not being able to get him out of there. When he faced Daniel Dubois, he was not able to get lucky. He was not able to overcome the challenge that was in front of him because Daniel Dubois was imposing, he was big, Dubois was massive in there, Dubois hits hard, and Dubois showed heart because Dubois got knocked down twice in this fight, but Dubois was able to pick himself up and show that he's got heart, and that heart overcame Fabio Wardley's ability to get lucky all the time. So look guys, get in the comment section and let me know what you think about Fabio Wardley getting exposed and his weaknesses being laid bare for everyone to see, because from now on, every top fighter that fight Fabio Wardley, they would know exactly how to overcome Fabio Wardley. Who do you think Fabio Wardley should fight next? Do you think that Fabio Wardley can become a world champion again? Is he a legit fighter? Is he a contender in the heavyweight division? And what chances do you give Fabio Wardley, for example, against some other fighters in the division? Get in the comment section and let me know what you think about this.